Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Vipul Gupta. I hope you guys are doing great and enjoying this SQL interview preparation series. So guys, time for a new interview problem. This time I have brought you a problem statement which has been part of Uber's data analyst interview, and in this video we are going to discuss the problem statement and the step-by-step solution. But before proceeding further, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any update regarding the upcoming videos. So guys, let's get started.
So guys, first of all, let's quickly understand this problem statement. So here we have been provided with two tables. The first table is table trips. So in this table, we have all the data related to trips, right? So here we have the ID. So this is the trip ID. Then we have client ID, driver ID, city ID, status and request at. So request at is the date when a particular trip has been requested, right? And we have some more details like ID is the primary key for this particular table, right? And we have that the table holds all the taxi trips which I just have mentioned, and each trip has a unique ID, this one, and client ID and driver ID are the foreign keys to the user's ID at the users table. So guys, we have another table by the name users table. So this is the users table. Here we have three columns: users ID, banned. So this banned is basically the status whether a particular user is banned, yes or no. Then we have the role. So basically this role has multiple values including client, driver and partner, right? So users ID is the primary key in this particular table, right? So guys, let me give you a brief of this problem statement. So here we have two tables: the trips table which has all the data related to the taxi trips, right? And then we have the users table, right? Now the ask here is that we need to write a solution to find the cancellation rate of requests with unbanned users. That is, the client and driver must not be banned, right? Therefore we can say that this banned status should be equal to n, right? Now moving further, it is mentioned that the cancellation rate should be calculated at day level for these 3 days starting from 1st of October 2023 to 3rd October 2023, right? Then it is mentioned that the output result can be in any order, right? But we'll be following this order by day, right? Now one more thing is mentioned here, that how to calculate the cancellation rate. So cancellation rate is computed by dividing the number of cancelled requests with unbanned users by the total number of requests with the unbanned users on that particular day, right? So basically we need to take a ratio of the cancelled rides by total number of booked rides, right? And here the condition is that the driver and the client should be unbanned. So now moving further, we need to plan how are we gonna write the final output query, right? And for that, let's make some pointers which we are gonna refer while writing the final output query, right? But before that, let's explore the available data sets. So we have trips and Uber users, two tables, right? All right, let me pull it. Okay. So guys, here we have two tables. The first one is trips. So this trips table has these details. So here you can clearly see that we have ID. So ID is the trip ID, then we have the client ID, driver ID, city ID and the status, right? Also we have the requested at date. In the second table we have user ID, band status and role, right? So here you can see we just have two values in this role column, client and driver, right? So the first point is, in the select statement we need to print the day and cancellation rate, right? Second is we need to filter out the users, that is clients and drivers who are banned. So we need to remove or filter out the clients or drivers who are banned, right? Now these two are the main 2 pointers. Now let's explore how we can plan to write the final query, right? So for this day column that we need to print in the final output, what we can do, we can refer the request at column in the trips table, right? And for this cancellation rate, we have a definition, that is total cancelled trips divided by count of total trips, right? So let me write it here. Cancellation rate equals to total cancelled trips divided by total trips, right? And while calculating this and this, we need to consider this filter, that is we need to filter out the users, clients and drivers who are banned, right? So now there can be multiple ways of solving this problem. It can vary from a very simple solution to a very complex, and in this video I'm going to share a very simple solution, right? So guys, I would like to share one quick tip here, that whenever you encounter such problem statement where you have multiple tables, so don't get frightened, because the purpose of the interview here is to make the problem look complex, but in actual the final solution is pretty simple in these scenarios, right? So now let's write the solution to this particular problem, right? So first of all, in the select statement, what do we want? We want the day, and that day column can be taken from request at column from trips table, right? This one. And the second thing is cancellation rate. So guys, now cancellation rate has two parameters or factors. The first is total cancelled trips and second is total trips, right? So in order to calculate the total cancelled trips, what we can do, so total cancelled trips equals to count of ID where status equals to cancelled, right? Now how can we convert this literature, this part, into SQL? So we can use case statement here. So what we can do, we can take some case when the status equals to cancelled, right? But the challenge here is that in the status column we have cancelled by driver and cancelled by client both, right? So what we can do, either we can use in where status in, or we can use like. So what I can do, status like cancelled, and after cancelled we can use percentage. So this percentage will consider all the characters after this cancelled word, right? So this then one, else we can use null or 0. So I am using 0, right? And so this part will give us the count of all the cancelled trips, right? Now for the total trips, what we can do, we can simply take the count of ID, right? So this ID is the ID in the trips table, right? And moving further, in order to calculate this cancellation rate, we can divide this by this, right? So let me write it here. So sum of this divided by count of ID, right? So guys, this part will give us the cancellation rate as cancellation rate. And one more thing I would like to mention here is that whenever we are working with some calculations which where the final output will be in decimals, so an ideal practice is used to round function and round the output up to 2 decimal places. And that is something that we are going to implement in this scenario as well, right? So I will be using round. All right. So we need to pass two parameters. The first is the output, right? And after that we need to pass up to how many decimal places we want to round off our output, right? So we are good with the select statement, right? Now from, so the name of the table is trips. Now the most important thing, so we need to consider only those trips where the user, that is the client and the driver, should not be banned, right? So I will be mentioning here that where user id, right? So in trips table we have a column, client id, right? And another column driver id. So we can use subquery here, so where client id not in. Now in this bracket we can mention all the client ids where status equals to band, right? Because we are using not in. So I will be writing select, the column is user id from Uber users where role equals to, now there are two things we need to filter on, role and band status. Role equals to client and band equals to yes, right? So it will give all the user IDs or client IDs, right, where status equals to band, right? Now in the second filter condition we need to filter out those drivers who are not banned. So similarly we can create another subquery. So we can write driver, yes, so it's driver ID not in. Let me copy it from here, right? Now we just need to change the role because here the role is driver. So guys, by using these two subqueries we can simply filter out those users, that is clients and drivers, who are banned, right? So now since we are using an aggregate function, so we need to provide a group by. But also the cancellation rate is something that we need to calculate with the day, right? So I will be using group by 1. And one more thing, that in the desired output we need to print this request at column as day. So I will be using request at as day, right? And the output I want to sort with respect to the day. So order by I will be using 1, right? So now let's execute this to see what we are getting. Great. So guys, here we are able to print the final output. So we have day, so we have all these 3 days, 1st October, 2nd October and 3rd October, and corresponding to that we have the cancellation rate for all those days, right? And this is the desired output. So guys, let me give you a recap of what we have done, right? So first of all, we have made some these pointers. So guys, I am repeating this thing once more, that making pointers is very essential whenever you are working on a very complex problem. So making pointers will help you to create a roadmap in your mind, that okay, we have just to follow these things, and you will be able to break your problem statement, right? Because some problems involves a lot of literature in it, and we just need to cherry pick the important information that we are going to use to write the final query, right? So now in this solution we need to print two columns. The first one is day, when all those transactions of trips happen, and second is the cancellation rate, right? We already have defined the cancellation rate. Now in order to calculate the cancellation rate we have two parameters. First one is the count of cancelled trips and other is the total count of trips, right? So in order to pick the cancelled trips only, we have used case when statement, right? And since in the status column we have two type of cancellation status, that is cancelled by driver and cancelled by client. So we have used like keyword to consider all the trips which have been cancelled either by driver or user. Now where status equals to cancelled, then it will be returning 1 else 0. So this part will give us the sum or count of all the trips which have been cancelled, right? And this part will give count of all the trips which happened, right? And dividing these two will give us the cancellation rate. And then we have used the round function to round off the decimal up to 2 places, right? Now after that we need to filter out those users, that is clients and drivers, which are banned. So for that we have used two different subqueries, and at the end we have used group by to because we are using an aggregate function, so we need to group by a result with the day, right? And then we have used order by to sort the results with respect to the day column, right? So guys, this way you can attempt these kind of problems. I know at the first instance these can look like very complex problem, but breaking any problem will definitely help you to write the final query very easily. So guys, this way you can attempt this or similar kind of problems. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed this problem. Happy to help you with respect to any query or any doubt. Just let me know in the comment section below and I will be answering all those queries and concerns one by one. Also, we know that there are multiple ways of solving a single problem. So I would love to see other probable solutions. So just share your solution in the comment section below. So guys, thank you once again for watching this video. Do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe my YouTube channel Analytics with Vipul for more videos like this. So guys, keep learning, keep growing. See you in the next video.